Mona, floor is yours.
Thank you. So thank you very much, Anya. I'm very happy that I am here with you on this Wednesday evening. In a moment, I'm going to introduce myself because I have a separate slide for this. But I wanted to refer to what you said about Dear Woman. I was actually thinking about it as well. So yeah, but we would have to add two additional things. So I will think about it, yes, because DEARMAN is like an acronym. And we are going to talk about it in a moment. I'm going to explain what the letters in the acronym DEARMAN stand for. So while I was preparing for this webinar, I have done some research on the subject. And the subject was connected with communication, especially poor communication in workplaces. I have come across even a lot of scientific articles about it. And some of them mentioned that workplace conflict is an inescapable aspect of professional life. And the articles pointed out the reasons behind that, which can be different personal values, competition in the workplace, or communication gaps. And during this short webinar, I'm going to help you with the latest, with the communication gaps. And I'm going to describe, as I mentioned, this tool called DEARMAN. We can consider man as a human being, not a male, okay, individual. And I will explain how it can be used to avoid misunderstandings or misinterpretations. Who am I? You can scan the QR code and you can find me on LinkedIn. I can tell you that I have taught English. I counted it for this webinar and I was actually surprised at the number. It's 17 years professionally, okay? So I have taught individuals, I have taught groups, different kind of groups with different backgrounds. I have been a senior teacher, an academic manager, and now I'm a head of training at CoAction. And during my professional experience, I have met a lot of different people from different backgrounds, and I needed to adjust my communication. So I was looking for something that can help me with the communication I need to handle. And in addition to my professional life, I need to juggle the demands of managing a dynamic team, teaching and ensuring quality time with my 2 children and husband, which can be even more challenging than work. So during this search for the tool that can help me at work with communication, I discovered that also DEARMAN is great when you need to negotiate with your children. Besides that, I need to tell you that during my studies a long time ago, because my professional life started 17 years ago, so my studies were earlier even, I got interested in psycholinguistics. I'm mentioning it because DEARMAN is a tool taken from cognitive therapy. And I need to underline that I'm not a therapist, I'm a linguist. So, and I got interested in psycholinguistics long time ago. So I'm a linguist that likes connecting psychology and the language, okay? And I believe that the language that people use is strictly connected with their intentions, and that the language that we use can impact the outcome, okay? So that's about me, about my experience. If you have any questions, by the way, if you have any questions, you can note them down and we can discuss it at the end, okay? So, and this is the agenda for today. So this, my talking will take around 40 minutes, I estimated it. I'm going to ask you also to talk or to type in the chat. As Anya mentioned, it depends, okay, which channel of communication you prefer. It's up to you. And if you don't want to interact, that's also fine. So firstly, we are going to look at the origins of this tool, DEARMAN. Then next, I'm going to present every activity, every verb actually that stands for the letters in the acronym DEARMAN. I'm going to give you some examples of the language that can be used for this specific activity, and I'm going to ask you to try it, okay? So you will have time to practice and create your own sentences referring to your personal experience. And I'm asking you really to try it, okay, to use your examples. So I really like interactive webinars. I don't think I will be able to check all the sentences, but I hope that I will be able to check as many as it is possible, okay? So now let's start, okay? This is the very beginning of the tool. So because we are going to work on specific examples, because this is very important to go through one specific example, we will refer every letter D, E, A, R, M, A, N to one specific example. I would like you now to look at potential issues that can trigger miscommunication or conflicts at work. And you can choose from those that I am actually displaying now on the screen, or you can create your own. If you have a notebook somewhere or a tool in which you can note down this specific issue, or you can create your own issue, okay? So it's I'm going to give you now some time because, as I mentioned, it's very important. This is your actually first task now, okay? It's very important to refer to a specific example, okay? So read the examples. I will be silent for a moment, so you have time. You can use the thumb up. I'm not sure if Zoom has this option when you're ready, okay? So when you're ready with the issue, okay, with the problem, communication problem you would like to work on. Thank you. Okay, can we move on? I'm not sure if, is it okay? Do you have the issue? As I mentioned, I like interactive webinars, so it will be quite important to stick to one issue that we can work on. Okay, I'm assuming that everyone is ready. Okay, so first let's talk about the origins of DEARMAN. It's important really to understand that it's from cognitive therapy. Okay, so take a look at this word cloud. It's called a word cloud. Read the words and try to guess, okay, what kind of tool it is. I mentioned that it is from cognitive therapy. Exactly, it's called dialectical behavioral therapy, so DBT, and DBT actually connects cognitive behavioral therapy with mindfulness and acceptance-based strategies. Okay, so three things: cognitive behavioral therapy, mindfulness, and acceptance-based strategies. And one of primary objectives of DBT is to enhance interpersonal skills. Okay, so this is what we are concentrating on today. And one of the interpersonal effectiveness tools is DEARMAN. So as you can see, it's like really like we are going to this one point from therapy to just a tool which is called DEARMAN. So now take a look at the words and try to guess what the letters in the acronym DEARMAN stand for. You can now type in the chat. What do you think is D? D. What does D stand for? Okay, thank you very much. Describe. Exactly. Great. Okay. What about E? Yes, E is express. E is express. Okay. Thank you for trying, Magda, interpersonal. Okay, but here we have express. Okay. So what about A? What does it stand for? You don't have to make up the words. Thank you for this, but you don't have to actually. All words can you can see on the screen actually. So you can only choose from the words assert. Yes, assert. That's true. Okay, so we have yes, assert. Describe, express, assert, and now we have R. Okay, what does R stand for in the acronym DEARMAN? Reinforce, reinforce. Yes, thank you. It is reinforce. Okay, so we have describe, express, assert, reinforce. And that's the beginning. Okay, and this is actually the most important thing. And then we have man. Okay, so what does M stand for? And I will tell you that there are two words. Okay, the more important word starts with M. Yeah, that's true. So, thank you. Mindful, very good. Exactly. So this is stay mindful. Okay. Yeah, Magda said that there is only one word starting with R, so it wasn't difficult. Yes, I didn't want you know to challenge you a lot today. Okay, so mindful, stay mindful. Okay, and I will also explain what it means. Okay, to stay mindful after dear. Okay, what about A? Okay, also two words. Okay, the one starting with A is more important. Thank you. Yes, yes. It's appear. Okay, appear confident. Okay, so also we will talk about it, how to appear confident, because you know you might not feel confident inside. Okay, but you should show. Okay, appear confident. And the last letter is N. What does it stand for? Do we have more than one word starting with N now? So which one is it? Negotiate. Thank you very much. True. That's negotiate. Okay. Okay. So we have, okay, we discovered what DEARMAN is. Okay. You know now what the acronym stands for. So let's move on and let's discuss and practice, okay, this tool. So D stands for describe, okay, which means stick to the facts, okay. And here you have the example. last week you agreed that you would write the reports by the end of the week, but you have not done so. So you're describing the fact without judging, without any assessment, okay? You do not assess, you just stick to the facts, you describe the facts, okay? I have more examples for you, but before I show you more examples, I would like you now to think about the issue that you chose earlier, okay? You remember I stated 3 different issues. I asked you that if you want, you could also create your own personal issue, professional issue. So now I would like you to describe the issue, stick to the facts, okay? So over to you. This is what I would like you to do. If you want, you can unmute yourself and say the sentence out loud, or you can just type in the chat, okay?
Okay, so I can try because I don't want to type in anything. So I choose the first example with wrong data in the report, as far as I remember, something like this. And I could say something like to the person that you know how it is important to have all the data in the reports right. We have that double check policy for that, and I have checked, and you did mistake here somewhere in the data because it was your report, something like this.
Nice. Thank you very much for sharing this. Yes, so good. I would maybe change just you know, you made a mistake, yeah? So I would change this a bit, you know, to make it softer. You know what I mean, Magda? Yes, like how would you change it? How would you change it to make it softer without saying you made a mistake?
So we have found wrong data in your report.
Perfect. It's the same, but different. Yes. Okay. Exactly. So it just sounds different. There is actually a whole chapter in the English language saying how to soften the message. Okay. So very well. Great. Okay. You managed to soften the message. You wanted to add something?
No, just a joke, but I'm gonna skip it now.
Okay, later on, when we stop recording. Okay, thank you. Anyone else? It was great, Magda. Thank you very much.
Yeah, I have chosen the second example about being impolite to other employees. And I just wrote a sentence, something like that. Yesterday, I noticed that you were arguing with Diana and you were rude to her.
Perfect. Thank you. Okay. Great. Another rule in softening the message in the English language is that you use positive adjectives with negative verb. Okay. So getting to know the rule right now, how would you change the second part? Rude. I mean rude. How would you change it?
To be positive, yeah.
To be positive. I know how it sounds, but really, like in the English language, it's like that. So what's the opposite of rude? Polite.
Oh,
Yes?
okay, polite, yeah.
Yes, exactly. Okay, so
you were not polite to her, just
exactly.
like that. Okay.
Yes. So again, the same, different, but the same. Okay, and it's softer. Thank you very much for sharing this, Magda. Nice. Anyone else? Okay, so thank you. Let's move on. Okay, so E, we have E. E stands, I'm sorry, I'm missing the S letter. E stands for express. It should be stands, okay? E stands for express. And here we have I statements, okay, usually. So by using I statements, we need to say how we feel, okay? Because the other person may not know that, okay? And the example that we have here is, I feel left alone and that I can count only on myself. Okay, so I felt that I can count only on myself because you didn't prepare the reports. Okay, so again, let's continue on the issue. So add to your describe sentences, express sentence, please. And if you want, you can share. You have examples here. This is the part I like best when I talk to my children, when I use it. But then they throw it back at me, you know. And they say, Mommy, I need to do it because it's very important for me. I feel, and it's like, so, but it's nice that they can use it as well, even though they are just children. Okay, is anyone ready? Would you like to share?
Okay, I'm ready, but I have a problem with feelings always. So I have something
That's
like
fine.
this. Yeah, I make decisions based on data, and having the right one is very important for me.
Very good, very good. But I think it's okay. It's about your
I
feelings.
just don't see feelings there. That's so
okay.
That's my problem.
It's like it's reasoning, okay, but it's connected with, because I would say that if I don't have the right data, I feel lost, okay. But this is the same, okay, so it's okay, it's fine. You can use it as I statement here in express, okay. You express that you rely on data and it's very important for you. That's right.
Okay,
fine, thank you. You don't have to share such strong feelings that we have here. I'm growing increasingly disappointed, you know, like you can just say that data is important for me. That's okay. Anyone else? I know that emotions can be difficult, you know, like in my children's school nowadays, they have like program about emotions. And even tomorrow they have special day and different children will perform different scenes about emotions. So I think it's something that we can talk about. We should maybe talk about. Yes, Magda? You unmuted
Maybe
yourself.
I try. I don't know whether it will be okay, because exactly like Magda, it's difficult for me about talking about the emotions, but I figured out something like that. I was surprised by this behavior. I didn't expect such situation, and I saw that it was a difficult experience for Jana.
Very well. Okay. So I can't see any difficulties in emotions, in expressing emotions here. It's great. Okay. Surprise is emotion. Great. Thank you. Thank you for sharing this. Anyone else? Okay, so we can move to the third letter. Okay, A. A stands for assert. Okay, so assertiveness, it's connected with assertiveness. So being assertive is saying no or asking what you want, but clearly. Okay, so this is the part which my children taught me like the most. Okay, really. Okay, clearly. Okay, from A to Z. The example that we have here is I would like you to ensure that the tasks you are assigned to are done or at least delegated to someone else who is available. Okay. And also at work, I recognize that many people need to be said exactly what they should do or what is expected from them, and they feel safe then. Okay, so it's creating safe environment. So over to you. Have examples, more examples that you can use. It's based on the same actually example, everything. So if you are ready to share, just unmute yourself.
Okay, so I can try again.
Thank you.
I would say something like, please make sure that the next time you do the double check or ask somebody else to review your report for you.
Very well. Double check or ask someone to review the report to check the data. Very well. Great. In this case, in your case, in your issue, perfect example. Anyone else?
I have a question to that. would it be correct to say like I don't agree on something here, or because you said that also this is the space where you can say like no, but could it be said like in this direct way, or it's not encouraged to do that?
It's okay, it's fine. You can always like I don't agree is fine. It's better than I disagree.
Okay.
Just like because of the message, of the tone. And you can add, I'm afraid that I don't agree. And this is very soft message than in the English language. You can hear definitely. Okay. Thank you for the question.
So saying something like that I don't tolerate insulting colleagues at work will be okay, or it will be too hard?
To be honest, okay,
Yeah.
it's quite harsh message, okay,
Yes,
in the
yes,
English.
I know.
Yes, I need to tell you that English is just a different language. And sometimes what is okay in the Polish language is not really okay in the English language. People will feel, oh my God, okay. So to soften this kind of message, you can say, you can add would, I wouldn't, okay, just to soften. So modal verbs, okay? Very often modal verbs are used to soften the messages, okay? So I wouldn't like to tolerate. And again, you said insulting, which is like a negative adjective. So you will need to change it into positive with the negative verb, okay? So yeah, so these are the basic rules to soften the strong message in the English. So you could say, maybe you can try. I would say like I wouldn't need to something like that. I wouldn't need to tolerate. That's also quite strong verb, but accept. I would change it into accept. Okay, I wouldn't need or wouldn't like to accept employees who are not polite to others. Yes. Okay. Or our environment doesn't agree with messages that are not polite towards, like, okay, I'm just making it up right now, but I think you get the rule. Yes, like of softening the message. Okay. Yes, Magda, it's okay?
Yes, it's okay. It's very difficult to soften a message when you just know exact bad words. Yeah, and you have to use the opposite one. Okay.
Yes.
I will try.
Thank you. I know.
I work with colleagues from UK, so it's important to learn how to communicate with them like that.
Exactly. Thank you. Yes. Especially with people from UK. Yes, they like to soften. There is like if you have time later on, there is actually even a table created by a British magazine. There are 3 columns. The first one is saying what the British will say, what the British will think, and what others understand. Something like that, okay? Try to find it. It's funny, of course, but it's somehow true, you know? So I think it was created by The Independent. I'm not sure right now, but it's good to find it, especially when you work with British people. Anyone else?
Yeah, I have a funny story here as example. One of our software developers was one of our meetings with clients was trying to explain some technical things, and after the meeting he got feedback that he was rude, And we were really surprised. And when we asked a client why he was rude, they said because he didn't ask questions. He just explained everything, and there was no questions like, hi, how are you, what are you doing, who you are in the company, nothing like this. There was no small talk, just technical stuff. And at the end he got feedback that he was rude. So even no questions can mean something.
Yes, exactly. Thank you for sharing this, Magda. Yes, yes. Yeah, I need to tell you that exactly. So, especially British, but generally this English-speaking environment. I actually learned how to small talk when I started teaching business English. You know, it was just so trivial for me, like talk about the weather or something. But it's important even to talk about the weather at the beginning or anything. So. Thank you. Okay, so let's move on. Because we have R, and actually that's the last task for you today, to write the reinforcement. Okay, so R stands for reinforce, and you need to reinforce the person by explaining again the positive effects. Okay, so it doesn't have to be like, in the end, the person will leave with the, oh my God, I need to change something. Okay. But like with positive attitude. Okay. So here we have an example that would make me feel better and I would be less angry. Okay. So over to you. More examples if you need. I need to tell you that the examples were created by ChatGPT and they are quite funny. So, I mean, not really natural in the spoken language. Okay. Like the second one, especially, seeing that unfold would bring me relief and my anger would likely diminish. Okay, so the first example and the second example, that they are sorry, the third one, but the second one is quite bookish.
I don't think that I got the intention of these reinforce in the context, for instance, just on this second example, when we just talking to the person that was impolite to other employees. So whether it is about me or about him to express this sentence.
It depends, actually. Okay, because you can, for example, say, like in the part assert, you can say, I would like you to stop talking to people like that. And if you stop talking to people like that, probably you will be more accepted and people will trust you more. And that will be like the second part would be the reinforcement. So positive effect of the change you're expecting from the person. Yes.
Okay.
In most cases, you would rather, again, talk about your feelings, okay? So, oh, Anna, you found it. Thank you. I just see it right now in the chat.
So here we just want to give a kind of a reward. Am I getting this right? Okay.
Exactly. Exactly. Some kind of like outcome in the future that, you know, like stick and carrot, you know, like, so you don't want to use stick in DEARMAN, you want to use the carrot, okay? You show the carrot to the person.
Yeah, so I would say something like super easy, like, I'm sure you can do it, or based on your previous work, I'm sure you can handle it, or something like this, that just to express my confidence in that the person can do it. I don't have other idea here.
That's fine, that's great, okay? I would add more data, okay, more details. Like, I'm sure you can do it, and it would be really comfortable for you to check the data with someone else, or to double check the data in the report. Yeah?
Okay.
So again, just more
sounds better. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, thank you. Anyone else? I really like the discussions, really. Thank you. And the questions. So let's move on. And we have men, okay? Now, men, okay, is really based on actually the conversation that was going on in DEAR part, okay? Because it's supposed to be a conversation, okay? So you describe the person, you describe the facts, the person reacts, okay? Somehow, sometimes people deny the facts, you know, and then you have to react to this, okay? You express your feelings with I statement, you assert, you reinforce, okay? Then the person says something, okay? And then it really depends what the person says, but you just really need to stay mindful. So maintain your position and do not get distracted, okay? I can give you 2 examples here, how you can get distracted and how to stay mindful, okay? Usually the statements start with but, okay? But I double check the data, okay? Okay. So how to maintain your position in this situation? You can then, for example, I would say, okay, so if you double check the data, maybe it's easier for you to ask someone else to look at it, because you might just skip some information, or just omit something, yes, just because you think you are right, okay? But I would like to do something else. Yeah, so this is how you can get distracted, okay? I wanted to give you another example. I said 2 examples. Usually my children, like, it's like they really talk about something else, okay? So usually changing the subject is the distraction. So just remember to go back to the point, okay, that you actually probably stated in the assert section. Appear confident. So eye contact, confident tone of voice, confident posture, and avoid crutch words. Okay, crutch words are well, so, just, right. All these words that make you sound hesitant, okay? We call it hesitant. So you're not sure, okay, or tentative, okay, not sure. So try to, when it comes to the language, if you want to appear confident, you want to be fluent and avoid crutch words, okay? And then negotiate. Still, okay, bear in mind that people will try, okay, different things. So they will say, for example, but I don't have time to double check this report. Then you need to have some flexibility and be willing to compromise, okay? So then you can say, okay, you don't have time to double check or ask someone for help. So maybe I will give you more time to prepare the report next time so that you allocate time to check the report, okay? Something like that. So do you have any questions regarding this man part?
Yeah, I have the question about because I can imagine that some person can be surprised by the structure. Is it like encouraged to agree that we are going to give feedback that way, or what to do if someone is this passive aggressive, and it's just, is it better to just stop the conversation and come back to it later, or how would you manage the situation?
It depends, I think. It depends on the situation, how aggressive the person is, okay? I know that you're talking about passive aggression, but still, if they're still turning like the point, okay, but usually it's with but it's not like that. Yes, they don't admit, they deny a lot of things. First, I would come back to assert and restate, okay? Assert and reinforce. So that would be the first strategy. And if it still doesn't work, I would ask to talk later on and do the same after some time. Yeah, when the emotions, because a lot of people react, even if it's DEARMAN, okay? Even if it's very soft and nice, still some people think that you're attacking them somehow, okay? And they have this passive aggression. So I would definitely explain that it's about something that they did, not about them as well, okay? So I understand your point, but we are talking about the report, not about your competence, for example, okay? So three things that I would do: restate, underline that it's not about them, but about what they did and how it can be improved without much without much work, maybe not without much work, but yeah, that it can be improved. And if they are still acting like that, I would just come back to them later on, ask them to come to talk to. And it usually, I just need to admit that it has happened to me. And yeah, and it worked, okay? Especially like when it was very high tension, I mean, when it was high. So coming back to the conversation after a few days worked well. Any other questions? Thank you, by the way. Okay, so we were supposed to practice, but we practice all the time, okay? So quick summary, okay? DEARMAN is a communication strategy, we can call it communication tool, which is commonly used in DBT, dialectical behavioral therapy. I need to tell you that actually I started looking for this tool when I had some communication problems, and it worked for me, and it's working all the time right now. So I use it on a daily basis. So D stands for describe the situation. E stands for express your feelings about the situation. So again, I'm underlining, you shouldn't refer to the person, just to the situation, yes, to the facts, okay? Of course, in expressing your feelings, you can relate to your feelings, okay, but not to the person, okay? So describe, express your feelings, assert what you need, want, that's A. R, reinforce the positive effects of meeting your request that was stated in assert. M stands for stay mindful and maintain focus on your goal. A stands for appear confident and assertive, and negotiate if necessary. Okay, so leave some room for negotiations. So it's we can say that it's also a structured approach to, some people call it assertive communication. Okay, because we just like draw a line, yes, between the person, the situation, and us. And also, like, we just like differentiate between the people and situations. Yes. So again, it's not talking about who you are, what you are, but about what you did, what happened. Okay. So any questions? This is actually the end of the webinar about DEARMAN. And if there are no questions, I can tell you that at CoAction we teach communication skills. We have several courses called English Plus Skills. And if you are interested, DEARMAN is one tool that actually, that one part of communication skills course that lasts 15 hours. So if you're interested in more, then you can contact Natalia. You can scan the QR code and you will have her phone number on your screen. And for their IT participants, we have a discount. Okay, and that's the code you can see on the screen. But I think you also received it in the email that Anna sent to you. Yes?
I'm going to send an email after the training, so with the code. That's the only thing that's missed.
Okay.
Before.
Oh, okay. Okay, so I would like to thank you. It's been a real pleasure talking to you. I'm a great fan of the initiative, their IT, I need to tell you. So, and I'm happy that it's growing because every year you have more and more participants. So I will keep my fingers crossed for all the female participants. There are only female participants, so that's I'm a woman myself, so I always support women initiatives. Okay, so if you have any questions, we have still 3 minutes. I'm here, so you can ask me. You can type in the chat, or you can just unmute yourself and ask me.